This title of this broadcast should probably be, I've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to. Most people who perform just stumble forward into gigs. So I hope that if you're thinking about gigging or gigging again, getting back into gigging, especially if you're planning on trying something that's new to you, that you will give yourself some grace. There just isn't a manual for how to gig. I am Meredith Colby, author of Money New, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces neurovocal method, a way to use brain science to teach people who sing into microphones. If you want to book private lessons with me or find information about classes or products, you will find all the information at my website, meredithcolby.com. Hearts and thumbs are always appreciated. If you enjoy my broadcast, please give me some love in the comments. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can give me a thumbs up and follow me. Here we go. We're talking gigs, people. Rest assured that I know from which I speak. I have done every kind of gig that there is. I think. Now, you can learn a lot from talking with other musicians and joining Facebook groups for performing musicians in your area or in your genre. You have a number of different gigs available to you. There are those you are probably familiar with, like bars and restaurants. We all know about those gigs. There are also street fairs. Those are typically booked by local governments or chambers of commerce. Sometimes mall management will book those kind of things. It's the kind of thing where you find out via the interweb or that new Facebook group that you just joined. If a fair is in May, let's say, they will start booking in May of the previous year. Bands are hired by private event planners for weddings, corporate events, and parties all the time. On any given weekend, there are literally tens of thousands of bands across the globe playing for private events. Not just bands, it's single musicians as well. It is a huge industry. Huge. Because in that industry, musicians get paid. Another place to get paid is in the travel industry. Bands are also used by resorts and cruise ships. You can be casual and stay close to home, or you can use your singing to roam the world. There's all sorts of opportunities. I'm going to share something with you that will be obvious as soon as I say it. The less known your music is, the harder it is to get a gig. The reason is because it's hard to promote. So the easy sell is that which is recognizable and thus easy to promote, such as ethnic music, cover music, music from certain decades, tribute bands, or different kinds of dance music. I'm just telling it like it is, people. I don't make the rules. If your goal is to get out there and sing, think about your audience and join a band that's playing really popular types of music. If your goal is to be an artist whose creative and original works are through the medium of song, that's great too. I am not telling you not to do that. You should do that. It's just different. And you should know that it will be different going in. That's all I'm saying. Two of my personal favorite venues for dream gigs. The instrumentation is one or two instruments, and the singer is the star. The music can be less than popular. It can even be classical. The gigs are easy to find, they pay, and the audiences are attentive and often appreciative. These gigs almost always happen during the day. And are you thinking to yourself, why, Meredith, what is the most perfect gig of which you speak? The answer is there are two categories, children and retirees. I have a musician friend who is very successful here in Chicago. It is a kids' music project that she's been at for at least a decade. She records original music and she works during the day. Seldom has to travel to her gigs. She gets both private and public gigs, and her audiences hang on her every word. How great is that? The other category, which is easily as great, is retirees. Every independent living development or graduated care community or civic senior center has a budget for entertainment, and they need the kind of musical presentations that their residents and members will enjoy. The audiences are polite and appreciative. Shows are an hour long, and the gigs usually happen during the day. You're not going to get rich from these gigs, but they do pay. Let's talk about getting paid. I know. You may be thinking, I have another income. I just want to sing. I don't need to be paid. And I get that. But there are a couple of things that we need to keep in mind. The first is that there is a direct ratio between how much you are getting paid and how well you will be treated. It is counterintuitive. I understand that, but it is something that you can absolutely count on. 98% of the time you can count on. Because the reason I say it's counterintuitive is because you're thinking, I'm giving them this great show with my talent and my time commitment, and I put so much into this show. And of course, they'll appreciate me for it. No. They will not. If you work for free, they will treat you badly. There won't be anyone to greet you when you get to the gig. You'll be put in a corner. You'll have to find someone to ask for everything you need. There won't be any promotion, so you won't have much of an audience. Do I sound like I've been there? I've been there. Trust me. It's just like your students. It's like your students. If they invest in the process, they will engage in the process. If you don't place value on your services, neither will your clients, singing or teaching. The other reason you need to not work for free, as long as I'm on my soapbox, is while you may be in a financial position to work for free or cheap, other musicians are not. So when we train our clients not to expect to pay for our musical services. We hurt other musicians and we hurt the value of live music. So please charge people. So far I've mentioned bars and restaurants, resorts and cruises, street fairs and festivals, private or civic events, and events for children and retirees. There are a couple other categories that you might be interested in. House concerts are a thing that you may or may not know about. They are the one category that I personally do not have any experience with as a performer. I have never given a house concert, though I have attended a couple of them, and they're lovely. So I cannot speak from firsthand experience as a performer, but I do know artists who have done these, and I looked it up online. There is a circuit of these house concerts. They're for artists typically of original music, but sometimes they can be for a genre that's a little nichey or has a smaller but avid fan base, like bluegrass or classical. They are concerts in people's homes. The homeowner is the host and invites the people. Those people expect to pay, depends on where you are, between $20 and $100 per ticket. And that goes directly to the musician or musicians. If you have recordings or other merch that you generally sell, that is encouraged. The other category is the school circuit. So every public school and most private schools have a budget to bring in performing artists for enrichment purposes. I knew a guy who had a guitar and he sang. He had a few shows about American history. The guy worked 3 to 5 days a week. He wasn't a genius musician, either singer or player, but he loved history and he loved kids. And he had this great energy, this real enthusiasm. He worked between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and he made 6 figures as a performing artist. It's an amazing little niche. If you are overwhelmed, take a breath. Don't breathe. Just get the download. Just look at the gig types that are listed in the download and just kind of mull it over. Think about what could work well for you, for your schedule and your personality and how much you want to travel and how much you want to charge and all that stuff. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm Meredith Colby. Have a great week. Bye-bye.